pretty torrid stretch of the last few weeks. Where have you seen kind of the keys to his growth, though, the last month or so?
Man, really, he's excelling in the classroom. I had to talk with my wife, and sometimes I get frustrated with some of these kids, but she said, baby, you have to take their hands and you got to physically show them how to take notes in class, how to write down and how to watch film, how the opponent study. And since doing that with him, taking some extra time that he wants to learn the game, now the game is starting to slow down for him a little bit. And when the game starts to slow down, man, things starts to take off and you can just allow your natural abilities take over. So is he all the way there? No, he's still young. We're still developing him, but he's trending in the right direction, man. And just the growth of, I wasn't here last year, the maturity factor. I'm always staying on his butt, pushing him each and every time we step on the football field. I mean, he's embraced that. He wants to get better, and I think any coach out here that takes a talented kid like JT that wants to get better, to get pushed each and every day, makes my job easier.
So obviously he's getting kind of the lion's share of the targets lately. How do you see the other guys, maybe staying engaged, even though the ball's maybe not hitting the way?
No, listen, the other guys have been there. I mean, you're only as good as your opportunities. For me, I always tell them, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. So you never know when your number is going to be called, but in other ways, you still can help our team win. I mean, the blocking haven't dropped off at all on the perimeter, some of the perimeter runs, some of the perimeter touchdowns that we have because our guys are blocking their tails off down the field. So, listen, I don't think they really care about it. It's more of a team kind of foundation of it doesn't matter who gets the ball, we just want to win, and everybody's playing for each other. And that's kind of, what you like to see in the room. Nobody cares about the stats. It's all about the W, and guys are playing for each other, which is encouraging.
Coach, Jordan and Sam developed kind of a really tight relationship. As a former receiver yourself, what goes into developing a relationship with a quarterback, especially one that's grown so strong as those two?
Well, ever since I've been here, those guys have been working hard on and off the football field. And it started back in training camp. When practice over with, you look back and those guys are out there throwing. So to see all the hard work that they put into it and starting to pay off, having that rapport, he just has a sense of where Jordan is going to be at, give him an opportunity, and Jordan has made some plays and stuff. Now, he's left some plays out there on the football field. I'm always on them. You remember the ones that you drop or, you didn't execute well over the ones that you scored. And, I don't want Jordan to look back and him being short of 1,000 yards because we left some plays out on the football field. I just try to preach to guys to be as close to perfect as possible, and that's what I'm encouraged by Jordan. Yes, the touchdowns and accolades are fine, but he remembers that drop ball that he had that, he needs to make that play. He he can make that play. So that's encouraging as a coach, and my job is just to keep pushing him to get better each and every day. I told him, man, you got 3 to 4 years to master this position. And like I said, you're trending in the right direction, but he's put a lot of work into it, not only on the field, but off the field. Showing up on time and slowly becoming a leader, not just a playmaker, but holding everybody accountable, doing the little things right. And that's what Jordan has done so far.
As someone that's dealt with success, whether it's personally or with the team, how do you now make sure that your players are in a good mindset with the current record, finally being ranked and recognized on a national scale before a big game?
Well, that's hard, because, I keep them humble always. I'm always the kid, the underdog that no one gave a chance and I've overcome. And for them, I tell them each and every day, I remind them, all these people, it's good to get patted on the back, but I also remember when I first got here, they picked you guys dead last in this conference, so don't ever forget that. So yes, it's good that we're having a little success, but never forget where you started. Never forget where you came from. So if you stay on that mental grind of understanding that we were picked dead last, then it's hard to get a big head. Coach Kyra once said, you're not as good as you think you are, you're not as bad as they say you are. So that keeps you on the even keel. So I just try to keep those guys humble, continue to come out here and work, and then it's a big game. This is what they played their tails off to put themselves in a position to play in a game like this. So I can't wait to see how they respond.
When you played, how do you develop a relationship with quarterbacks? Like Ben and Cornell, what did you develop a relationship with the quarterback?
It's not just on the field, it's off the field. I tell the guys all the time, the years that I won the Super Bowl, we probably weren't the most talented team, but we're the closest team. And just feeling that vibe, being in the facility, seeing those guys, the camaraderie both on and off the football field, that's what helps you kind of overcome situations and stuff. Guys are playing for each other, and you got to be selfless. Nobody cares about the accolades and stuff like that. They're just playing for each other, playing ball, and I see that in the locker room. I'm starting to see that at practice. Guys, offense and defense, pushing each other to get better, dapping each other up after a play, making competitive at practice. You start to sense that, and that's why things are kind of trending in the right direction. So it's a big game for us to just try to keep these guys humble. It's hard to do when they're all on social media and everybody's loving you up and do things, but understand on the other side, those guys trying to come in here and kick our tails in our home. We got to defend our home. Senior night for a lot of these guys, you always remember your senior night. So, I just say, listen, it's a great opportunity. You guys earned it. You put yourself in this position. Let's capitalize and take full advantage of it. A lot of teams can't say that they control their own destiny. When we were 5-2, I kind of used that analogy. That was the preseason. Right now we know the offense. We kind of know who our playmakers are, who our identity is. The month of November, that's playoff football, in my opinion. So we got a great opportunity. You lose, you go home. Not really going home, but you don't get to go where everybody wants to go. It's the college playoff, but we just take it one game at a time, man. For us, it's a big game because it's the next game. And BYU is a tough opponent. Had success this year, man. I'm looking forward to the challenge, man. I know the stadium's going to be rocking. It's going to be electrifying, and I can't wait to see our players. Hopefully they can rise to the occasion like they've been doing.
Yeah, Coach, there is this idea, this is sort of a side note, but there's this idea that there's a QB development problem in the NFL, and they sort of list all of these young quarterbacks coming in and not having success. Would you contribute that to maybe a change in the philosophies surrounding offenses in the NFL, or is it the short leash? What are you seeing with that?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both. I think for quarterbacks nowadays, it's just, playing to their abilities. It's not about them. I think for most coaches, you got to adjust to the players. I think Marcus have done a great job of doing that, playing to Sam's strength and kind of giving him ownership of what he likes, what he doesn't like, and the things that he likes, we tend to stay with that, because it just gives you confidence on the football field. For us, simple is always best. If you can simplify things to allow these kids to play fast and know their assignment, that's what we did. So we cut back a lot on play calling and stuff, and really just, try to put Sam and all the guys in the best position to be successful. So for the quarterback, I think it goes hand in hand with the quarterback's coach or the coordinator, or putting that quarterback in the best position to go out there and make plays. And I think that's what you're starting to see with Sam and Marcus.
Hey, Coach, so this is your first year here, Kenny's second year. What have you noticed? You mentioned a quote earlier from Coach Cowher. What have you noticed in Kenny's kind of message to the team? Has it wavered at all throughout this year? It's a lot of more success compared to last year. What's that message that he's had to this team? Has it wavered a lot? And how could you compare it kind of to maybe Coach Cowher's message to an NFL?
Well, Kenny, he's young, he's energetic, but his message has all been the same. He just wants to keep these guys just taking it one game at a time. He's that coach that in his first year, taking over, going 3-9, he will never forget that. So to see that, we come full circles and starting to turn things around, he hadn't forgot when he was 3-9 and tried to keep these guys humble. So that's kind of permeated throughout the whole organization. It's good that we're having success, and those guys work their tails off to put themselves in a position. But now that we're in this position, we kind of got to move forward. We got to turn the page and see if we can keep it consistent. We've got a tough opponent. We control our own destiny. So let's see what happens this coming Saturday.
When did you first see the possibilities with this team that you guys might have?
I think we're a resilient team. All the games we played in, we really haven't got smacked by anybody. We've been in every ball game. We just found a way to win tough games. You go back to Kansas and Utah, and all those games there were moments in those games that this team could have easily folded up and packed it on in, but they didn't. They stayed after it. They fed off the home crowd. Guys started playing for each other. It really didn't matter who Scott was doing his thing, and then Sam got injured, and then now Sam and Jordan are starting to make plays. So now you're starting to see a little balance, playing complementary football. Special teams have stepped up and got some huge turnovers and touchdowns. So now, I think we're playing well in all three phases. Special teams, defense, and offense. And when you get that going, man, everybody's playing for each other. That's what it's all about.
And you mentioned that during your playing career with the Steelers, there were times when you may not have been the best team, but you were maybe the most connected team.
Yes.
How rare is that?
That's rare. You can have you look across the country in the landscape of college football. There's talent all over, but there's no connection with the team. I think Kenny does a phenomenal job. I mean, the dude he's not the best Madden football playing abilities, but he goes down there and talk trash with all the players, and they love it, man. So the connection, that's what good coaches do. You inspire players. They want to play for the coach, and Kenny's done a phenomenal job. And we as assistant, we're just feeding off, his energy. And he comes with juice every day. He gives us energy and gives us inspiration, and so it makes my job easier. I bring the juice just like he does. So it starts with Kenny, man. Just the love that he has for the players, and you're starting to see the players starting to play for Kenny and try giving them their all. It feels good, But yet, for me, I'm the even keel, the voice of reason. Like, I still remember everybody picked us last place. So when it's all said and done, man, I want guys to remember this season and say they left it all on the football field, and let's see where the chips fall at the end of the season.
Kenny mentioned on Monday that something that you had mentioned sometimes to him in passing is that when you were on the Steelers, a lot of the philosophy was, hey, if you win all your home games and you split the road, you'll meet them postseason every year. And you guys have a chance to be undefeated at home in ASU for the first time since 2004. What does that mean to you to be able to be undefeated with this team at home and be able to defend home field?
The whole Activate the Valley, man. You're starting to see guys, the community kind of buying into and backing the Sun Devils and kind of, appreciate the performance on the football field. And then that's the reason we have this upcoming game sold out, man. I can't wait for Saturday to come to see it and be a part of it. But me and Kenny, we were walking back, and I said, you know what? If you just focus on winning all your home games and splitting on the road, we'll kind of, have a successful season, be where we want to be. And this weekend we got a great opportunity. I love playing at home. Our crowd, they're so into it. The student section down there gets the rocking, man. I love it when they booing the crap out of the opponents when they step on the football field, man. That's what college football is all about, man. So to sit there and be a part of it and see the growth and seeing the community kind of back this football team, it's pretty exciting to be a part of.
Going back to Sam and Jordan, how would you describe the connection and the chemistry that they've built this season?
Man, it's unreal. To see, but they put a lot of work into it. Since day one when I got here, I always look back on the football field, and those two guys was working at it. And now to see it all, the work that they put in starting to pay off, man, it's exciting to be a part of. Anytime you have a rapport with a quarterback who, no matter what, throws it up to you, and knowing that you're going to go out there and make a play. I told Jordan, man, that's a blessing. A lot of receivers don't have that with their quarterback. So embrace it and take advantage of your opportunities.
So 05, you guys were the best team in the NFL that year, right?
No, we were a 6th seed. Right? Nobody gave us a chance. We found a way. We were starting to play good playoff football in the month of December, similar to what this team is doing now. In the month of November, we kind of, we had our ups and downs. We had to overcome some injuries, but now the guys are starting to click. They're starting to play for each other. You can just see there's more energy in the meeting rooms. We got a little basketball goal in our team meeting. Now there's more players out there competing, and that's really what it's all about. For me to see the growth in all these players and see the direction of where this program is headed, I'm just glad to be a part of it.
What jumped out to you most about your group's willingness to kind of embrace blocking, doing that dirty work?
I'm on their ass every day. I'd never be content. For us, anytime that we can help contribute to a win or help this team out when we're not catching the football, that's what it's all about. These scouts, they come, they see it. Our tape looks different than other teams. When we're watching game plans and when we're watching videos of other wide receivers from other teams, they say, Coach, man, he couldn't play here. I was like, hell no. So they've kind of bought into it. And, And I'm really just trying to build their resume. You know, it's not just what you do when you have the football, it's what you're doing when you don't have the football. How are you helping this team win games? You know, how are you impacting the game when you don't have the football? These are what these scouts are looking for. Yes, you know, how fast you are, how big you are, those are measurables that you can get anywhere. But what's on the inside of you playing for your brother, that's what it's all about.
What do you see from BYU? What are some of the challenges that they pose at the defense?
They're a good team, man. They're good from top to bottom. I mean, defensively, they get after it. Got a veteran group of guys. Of course, you know, they're 6th in the nation in turnovers, 17 interceptions, 5 forced fumbles. So we got to make sure that we're on top and detailed up as far as in the passing game, you know, because they got some players on their team. So I love it. You know, this is the barometer this is what we work hard to play the best team in our conference at the end of the year. Let's shoot our gun and see what happens. So I'm looking forward to the challenge. You know, we got a tough team coming in our house and backyard. It's going to be rocking. You know, we still control our own destiny. I can't wait to see how these guys respond to it.
Seems like BYU's quarterbacks, they don't press the line of scrimmage, they kind of play off it a little bit. Is it something that you've noticed, and what are some of the things you do to kind of address that and play with that?
Yeah, but they're a bend but don't break defense. You know, they're not going to give up a lot of big plays. They're going to try to keep everything in front of them. But like I said, man, 17 interceptions. That's a lot of interception in one season. So we got to make sure that we're good on our technique and fundamentals. And when our opportunity presents itself, we have to rise to the occasion like we've been doing. So if we do that, I tell the guys, you don't have to do anything extra. You don't have to do nothing special. We got to just be great at making the routine plays like we've been doing all season. If we do that, we'll be fine. That's it.
Thanks, man.